I did not hit record.
There we go.
Excellent. There we go.
The rest is between us and God.
Oh yeah, dude, that was just top secret. Top secret. But dude, last time I was like slightly nervous, right? Because I usually get nervous talking to like new people. So I got plastered. So like 20 minutes in, I was probably like pretty blackout. So I'd missed a bunch of my like main questions, like a total. But I've drank much less this time. So
it's good. It's
totally good.
endearing, right? I mean, that's it's human. I think we all
I
get
guess. I guess. Technically, I suppose. Dude, what the heck? I just caught something last night.
Oh shit.
Of you and that Mr. Girl guy.
Oh my god. Hey,
he is such a weirdo, dude.
That what's the technical term here? Sussy? Yeah, no, is
Sussy, yes.
Real weird guy. A lot of other things too, you know. A lot of things of note to litigious people. I think that dude's 100% fucking pedo, you know.
Dude, I hate people who like will lob that term, and it's almost like in a meaningless way. But though, dude, very odd, dude.
Did you catch the what part did you catch of it?
I only saw the ending, dude, and like. Because this dude, I don't know if I'm friends with him, but we've talked before. Vito Gisaldi, I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
Talking head type guy, and he like retweeted a clip of the ending and was like, "Apparently, Vaush and his fans don't get humor." And I was like, I watched it thinking like, "Oh man, like he probably made a joke. Maybe Vaush didn't get it," but it was just like him talking about what would be hottest panty wise on like a child. Or something, and you disconnect. And I was like, dude, that wasn't a good joke at all. If it was one, like fucking that shit was so weird.
Yeah, I put the whole thing up. It's really weird. So basically, like that came at the tail end. Look, I just want to be clear. You know, I'm really not that much of a performative outrage kind of guy. You know, like if you want to do some edgy hypothetical shit joke, you know, throw up your rape cages. You know, talk about throwing babies off cliff, whatever. Give me your hypothetical. Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
The issue is that the last 30 minutes of that convo is him like insistently talking to me about like, you know, it was like, well, what kind of child strip clubs do you think people would like to go to? It was like that, like on like literally that, you know, it wasn't even like a debate topic. He was just like getting my like he wanted, I don't know, affirmation or something. And like after all that, you know, I had my finger over the the end call button, like the whole thing through, and we finally arrive at the other end of the forest, and I think like, okay, we're done. And then he makes a joke about like children's panty colors or so. So I was, well, no, well, you know, we tried.
I don't know how long did you talk to him before you hit eject?
It was like an hour. It's on my other channel. It's honest to God, it's a wild fucking ride. Top tier content.
I'm gonna take a while. I don't know if I can watch too much Vaush content because people are gonna think I'm a fan or something. So
or gay or like
exactly,
leftoid,
exactly, bro, exactly. Dude, he that's kind of his thing though, because I remember he was like a very staunch like cutie supporter or whatever. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I do, you know, if I'm thinking deeply, it could be because I had a shot, but there's almost a parallel of like, you know, maybe this guy, he does seem a little sussy, but maybe he's one of those types who maybe is just like, I could totally, you know, I'm a free speech advocate and I'm smart, so I can talk around and be like, yo, cuties is the best. Like it should happen. Like maybe he kind of fell into that type of trap. Maybe.
Yeah, I have to be charitable to some degree here, given, you know, the stuff that I've been clipped for. The issue is like there were clips from him in the cuties thing saying like the little like 8-year-old girls or whatever were hot in the movie. And in the convo, it goes beyond, because like I can give big leeway when the sussing material is being invoked in the form of some argument, right? I mean, you can go some wild roads, you know, down there. But I mean, honest to God, it felt like he could have just been like one-handing the whole convo, you know, like just gets off talking about it kind of deal. It was well beyond like subject of discussion and well more towards just, I mean, you know, there are people who will get off talking about that stuff to a big audience. You know, if you're live streaming, like, you know, what can I get away with? I'll say this, that, or the other. I didn't want to be party to that. You know, I didn't want to feel later like, you know, this would be some big fantasy of his. But
like he was enjoying it.
Yeah, right. I mean, there are people like that, you know, and you know, anyone who's been online long enough to like, I fucking browse a single 4chan thread. There are a lot of really fucked up people out there. So I don't want to feel like I'm, you know, giving space to that shit.
Oh yeah. No. I get that 100%, bro. Um, dude, was that I saw another clip of you recently,
Oh no,
of talking about
they're
Asuka.
never good. They're never good.
Well, I mean, well, this one was kind of weird because it's like I recognized the guy who was kind of mad at you. Well, first of all, do you remember did you talk about Asuka recently from Evangelion,
Oscar,
whatever
yeah,
it
yeah,
is?
yeah.
I'm so
Oscar Langley.
stupid. Asuka,
No,
whatever
it's
her name is.
you went in, balls deep in the English pronunciation. I respect your confidence.
Bro, I was so confident, but I feel like I'm an absolute retard now. But how recent was that fucking
Shit,
discussion
that,
thing?
that was like a week and a half ago, I think.
Okay, so it was semi-recent.
Yeah, yeah.
I almost like, I guess this is less of a question, more of a statement, but
Mhm.
I was always curious, like, and you mentioned it last time, how you try to combat like the rumors about you, and you said you're almost ready to like, okay, that's all we're going to talk about is like something someone said about me that's not true. But I had seen this guy coming after you for saying talking about the child stuff like 2 years ago, you said,
Uh-huh.
but now it seemed he was mad that you were saying like the Asuka or whatever the pronunciation is worship
Right.
was like too far. Like I almost like,
Oh,
can you win with these people?
one of those fucking anime channels?
Yes, it was
one.
like an anime
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
It was an
That
anime
fucking guy
guy.
made a video before. Okay, look. Do you? I'm gonna guess you don't watch anime, judging from your pronunciations here.
Dude,
But
I actually have gotten into it recently because my girlfriend's
oh,
into it.
oh no.
Yeah. I just binge watched all of Evangelion. It was pretty fresh. It was a little weird, but it was
Oh,
pretty fresh.
oh, fuck yeah. No, Evangelion slaps. Yeah, no, it is really fucking weird, but it's heralded for I think good reason. I think the issue I have, okay, and look, I'm not one of those people who's like, um if you've ever watched an anime and you thought a girl was hot with her big anime titties, and then you read the wiki and she's 17 and 5/6, like you're going to jail. I'm not one of those fucking, like,
Right,
I
right.
think that's dumb. But with the Asuka shit, there is a lot of sexualization in the original Evangelion, but I think a lot of it is artistically justifiable because a lot of Shinji's psychosis stems from his inability to relate to people. Women kind of frighten him. I get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can art house that shit. In the later Evangelion rebuilds, which are like these modern movies, sort of it's kind of a sequel, kind of a redo. It's weird shit, but there are some scenes, especially in the most recent one, which I think break that artistic justification and are just like full on softcore pornography on like on the little girl stuff. There was like a minute long scene of them doing the 0G like dry dock maneuver where you like move from the enclosed space to the next, and
Was
it
that the
was
dancing one?
uh
That was a different part.
that was different. That was a different
Okay.
part. There's a lot. There's shit all over the place. But basically, just imagine like like following the 14-year-old person or whatever, with just like a camera 12 inches from the cleft of the ass, just following.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally like a joke. But this is like an art film. Like what the fuck you? There's that. There's some other weird shit. There's a lot of pedos around the anime shit. So that bothers me a lot. I think it really drags down the hobby.
I think I can agree with you saying that, but it is just so weird though. Like, I almost thought like this type of person would be happy for you mentioning something like that, because it seemed like they had an issue with you being too pro child, and now it was like, if it has something to do with my anime, don't talk about it. Like, it's totally okay.
I don't know how genuine they were to begin with. I mean, a lot of it, right, is kind of a projection thing, Like, for instance, I think I blocked all these shits, but like there was this like fucking
Bro, you blocked them
on Twitter. Oh God,
that means
yes,
you lost, bro. That means you lost the argument, bro.
I lost like crazy to lollyfucker _69 because these people, like they show up in your mention, they call you pet or whatever. Their whole fucking Twitter feed,
like a platoon.
Shit they like, yeah. Just all like anime 6-year-olds.
And like fucking dude. I feel good when I see that. When I see someone smack talking me and you go to their page and you see that, you're like, excellent. I don't want this person.
Fuck yeah. Now I thought I might have to take your arguments into consideration. Now I don't have to give a fuck about what you have to say about me.
It's good.
I get those vibes, a little bit, maybe.
Oh yeah. It's a little redemptive. I don't know if I use that word correctly, but
No. Like it's really it's that Hail Mary, it's mercy, coming in from the light. It's you worry you might have a bad take, for instance, and then who is it who's mad at you? It's Shotokan underscore
Yeah,
Boy Bushy.
yeah,
Like,
fucking
okay,
Wally.
well, damn, must be a
Oh,
good ass take
jeez.
then.
Let me
Ugh.
can I think I can share my screen.
Probably,
There's
yeah.
a few things I wanted to talk to you about. I have two pictures on my desktop I wanted to share with you.
Gotcha. I'm ready.
This is the first one.
Yeah, what a handsome guy.
Okay. And this is the second one. Did the second one pop up?
Still just see the first
Still
one.
just see the first one. All right, let me see.
Still a handsome guy. Yeah.
All right.
Humble opinion.
Yeah. Let me make my point first. All right. Here's the second one. Did I just share the same one?
I do see the same one, yeah.
God damn it. Okay. It's another shot of you with this haircut. What
You
were
never
you
guess
thinking,
what I
bro?
think of his opinion. With the haircut?
Yes. I feel
Dude,
like
I still have that haircut. Can you?
but it's not the like tight on the sides. Like
No, well, it should be. I think. Okay, I've had this hair for like 6 years, and when I got it, I imagined, it's what like the wolf tail Viking shit.
yes, yes.
I'm a big guy. The issue is I'm lazy. I never keep the sides trimmed. I never keep the hair up or whatever. I'm probably just getting the long haircut. So I'm growing out the sides so I can, integrate the top of my head for, back into society.
I would highly recommend leaving the sides a little longer. Highly recommend, but I'm not your hairdresser. I can't.
No,
make
no.
that
I want to
decision
grow
for
it
you.
all. Yeah, like maybe fringe length, like nothing past the ears.
Mhm.
I don't think off the top. I think that'd look good. I've got nice wily hair.
Yeah, you do. I'm just those pictures were like I saw them and I was like, it's very cyberpunk-esque, but just not in the cool way.
Well, I think I look a little bit kind of like a partially shaven ball. Like a scrote.
A little
I think,
bit, dude.
There's
bit.
kind sort of like an orb of flesh residing somewhere within a poorly dressed hair. But we all make mistakes. We're growing, aren't we?
That's true. That is true. I shouldn't flame you too hard for that, bro. The haircut's not as bad as your real name. That still
True.
throws me for a loop, bro. That still throws me for a loop.
Well, hey, that's the great part, of living in the future, being supportive of trans people. A firm reminder: we can change our names whenever we want. We have that power,
dude. That is true. You should do it as like a fundraiser type thing.
Just like the highest Stone Oak gets the fucking name.
Yes.
Oh shit! But
I can see that running into problems.
Yeah. What if Lollyfucker 69 has bank? What if they're a trust fund kid? They're gonna run on in there with a couple of name suggestions.
Oscar. See how I'm pronouncing it better? I'm learning.
No, that was good. That was good. Oscar is
a
nice name, though, isn't it? Right.
It kind of sounds like Oscar.
Name.
A little bit.
Yeah, and I think also German's a very pretty language, in my opinion.
She's German. Nice. She's like German and Japanese, right?
Yeah, I think she's half German, half Japanese.
Like
she was coming from Germany when she was brought in as the third child.
You know what? I'm gonna ask this quickly before I move on, but I did remember having eyes for a particular character in that show.
Uh-huh.
Vaush, even if it hurts me, tell me, what is the age of that chick with the large breasts who's like a spy?
You mean the purple-haired commander, Misato?
No, she's like she's in the movies, I think. She's
wait, how much did you watch?
Everything.
Oh shit. Okay. I'm pretty sure she's 16 or something. Did you watch the fourth one at the end?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, actually, ends up with spoiler Shinji. Yeah. Wait, actually, let me check. Hold on. Wait, I actually.
Damn, bro, that's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking.
Rebuild girl. What the fuck is her name? She's English. Mary.
Yeah.
Evangelion. Well, hey, listen. If it's any console, or if it's any comfort, after the time skip, even though they all still have the bodies of teenagers.
Oh right, she's technically older.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, wait.
Right.
Hold on. You might be saved.
How
on the wiki, her age is question mark. Nobody knows.
Bro, dude, yo, I'm taking that. 18. She's definitely at least 18.
There we go. Plausible deniability is really all you need with anime girls.
Bro, I'm gonna get clipped as a fucking. This is gonna be like my pedo clip now. My fucking.
Not any more than me saying plausible deniability. Jesus. But yeah,
Oh yeah, you
you're
fucked us,
saved.
dude. You
It's
fucked
over.
us, dog.
It's
Yeah.
over. Yeah, cut the.
I'm
cut the
bleeping
recording.
that. I'm bleeping that. Yeah. Oh my god, bro, you
Uh,
give me the short version because I got like 25-ish minutes with you left. How would you sum up your enjoyment? Not enjoyment, but how would you sum up your relationship with Stone Toss in terms of how you view the comics? Because I've seen from somewhere you would not admit, but you do find some particularly funny.
oh, they're punchy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got a good comic form, or what do you call it?
Comedic
I guess
timing.
the comedic, yeah, the comedic timing, I guess, or whatever the comic version of that is
Mhm.
when the timing is determined by the pacing of the page. No, he's definitely got that. Politics wise, I'd say he's definitely less than my favorite person, but in terms of
For
that, I
sure.
think it's worth emulating. It's funny because after I mentioned that, that I thought there was a decent cadence to the arguments made, like whatever the arguments may be, and after that a bunch of like lefty comic artists sprung up, like a
I was going to
ton
talk
of
about
them.
this. Good transition. Good transition.
Yeah, it's just what now. Of course, it'd be arrogant of me to assume they're all because of me, but I think at least some of them were, or at least partially inspired. I
Well,
think it's
you
pretty
know
cool.
what? Let me get to this question. Okay, you got to answer honestly, and I'll bleep this out. I promise. I promise you. I'll cut this out if you don't want it to be known.
Hit
But
me
there's a
up.
particular guy who,
Mhm.
my understanding was immediately, um, is influenced the word inspired by you. I guess on a stream, you said something like, "We need a left wing Stone Toss, pretty much, or we need left wing people who are funny like this." And
Yeah, yeah,
his name is, I think, Bread Pains or Bread Panels. Do you know him?
yeah, yeah, but yeah, bread paints, yeah,
Mhm.
Oomphies on Twitter,
Okay, okay.
if you know that
So
mutuals, yeah.
my girlfriend actually just explained that term to me.
It's cute. I like saying
Yeah,
it. It's cute.
but
Yeah.
see, that's my thing is, I gotta say, I think a fair criticism of Stone Toss and what kind of makes some of his comics not enjoyable is it's like the message comes before the humor, and we'd always kind of talk about like what was more important. But to me, those comics are terrible. The bread panels. And I was hoping to get your honest opinion, but I also don't want to, especially if this kid looks up to you. I would hate for him to, hear this.
Oh no, no, I'll not spare feelings. I think the main concern really is that a lot of them are just too wordy. I think it really is like politics and form.
Mhm.
Take like a really good George Carlin bit. George Carlin, legend. Everyone loves the guy, right? Pretty left leaning, at least on a lot of issues. I mean, he's at least respected by leftists today. When you take a look at his best bits, you can tell this is comedy first and foremost. All the good, like Dave Chappelle's bit. I mean, even with George Floyd after
Yeah,
BLM,
yeah, yeah.
delivered with the flawless cadence of a comedic mastermind. And
Mhm.
it felt like the politics just wove in naturally with that. The difficulty is that when you approach it with a political bias, which we all do, of course, even the comedians,
Oh yeah.
it's difficult to avoid just making the political message and then stringing comedy through it, like you're Frankensteining the bit together from the political biases. I think the bread paint stuff sometimes leans into that a bit, where it's like, well, where was the joke, right? I mean, the political message was
Yes.
delivered, you
Yeah.
know. Um, but that's, if anything, I think that's just an issue with the left, like holistically, because I feel the same way about a ton of the shit, like take this for example, right? I admit to being partisan. I won't lie and
Mhm.
like, oh, I just want whatever ideas. No, I want left wing ideas. I think those are good. I think they make people happy. And the issue is, lefties are preachy, and the one of the best ways to get people over onto your side, they laugh along with you. They don't even know it's like a left leaning idea. You know what I mean? Like they're watching a game let's play or a react video or something. And, depending on the political bias of the person making that video, there can be kind of red pills or blue pills dropped in there a little bit. It's kind of hard. But a lot of lefties, they're so eager to make it known. They'll have the flags up and the
Mhm.
Ushanka on their head and they'll say comrade, this and that. I do this too, but I'm explicitly political. I can't get around it. Hello, pigeon.
Mr.
Fucking
Cat.
Mr. Cat. She, um, it's the goal would always be, what is the most incisive message you can deliver that a normie could laugh at or enjoy or whatever without even knowing it's political, because then you've kind of got them, and that's the difficulty. I think there are people for whom Stone Toss does that. There are bits of Stone Toss that just look like they're just like an edgy comic, right? And people can fall in with that when they're not even right leaning. So definitely a lesson worth noting.
You both kind of have that viewpoint. And let me call it Trojan horsing.
Mhm.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did?
In the sense of, it's almost like putting sugar with medicine to make it go down smoother,
Mhm.
and like you said, if it's good, you don't even notice the message kind of being pushed to you. Do you think there's any danger in that? Because I've heard you talk about that before, and I think, based on just reactions of me talking to some of my other creator buddies, I said I spoke to Vaush, surprisingly reasonable. I really like the guy. He seems nice, and they were, their immediate reaction, because I think they've heard you say that before, was kind of like, oh, he's kind of a weasel, and he's kind of just trying to appear cool, just to kind of sink his like leftism into you. Like, isn't that
mean.
kind of silly? But like,
well, maybe okay. Maybe I pretend to be cool. Sure, I'm pretty upfront with my political views. I
thought that
think
too. I thought that too.
Well, I don't think you should ever lie. That's the thing, right? I mean, I think implicit political messaging is just kind of the name of the game in an era where media consumption is like 8 hours of most people's day, where most people aren't going to go out of their way. We're pretty insulated from the day-to-day political shit that goes on. If you're not following it, you could live your whole life just floating by on YouTube Let's Plays, cooking videos. Yeah.
So, and I'd recommend some people to do that who push
themselves
into politics.
Holy shit.
I recommend a lot of people to do that.
Holy fuck, please. Yes. Some people absolutely. Cooking videos are great. Okay. I don't think you should ever lie. And, obviously the ideas that you're sort of putting, weight out for, I think you should be, putting out good ideas. The critical distinction, I think, is people who will Trojan horse in ideas the audience would not agree with, were it not presented in a sort of, not disingenuous, but like milk or milk toast or watered down way, versus like, it's just sort of being casually fielded and it's not that big of a deal. And maybe without all of the associated political biases, people kind of go like, yeah, so critical distinction here, right? Okay. I see a lot of pro-trans content on YouTube, and a lot of it is god awful cringy. I mean, so much of it is just this raw self-affirmation stuff. If it makes them happy, Godspeed, but not doing much for messaging, and then there are people who are super laid back about it. Like, they'll have a YouTube channel. It's got 250,000 subs. They'll be playing games like, oh yeah, trans people, whatever. And that might be the only shit they say. But the nonchalant delivery is critical. The lack of preachiness really helps get people on board, because the biggest worry about the left is that, it's just this army of fun-hating moral police who are rampantly against everything good in the world, unless it conforms to the 87 precepts of wokeness. Being casual about it kind of breaks that, spell a bit.
Would you say, though, that there is, and, I kind of, maybe run with and talk to people who are more center right. So maybe I have a misconception, but do you think there is a large section of, maybe not lefties, but online lefties who are kind of that Nazi humor, Nazi type that you were saying people have the misconception of?
It's definitely a thing that exists. Yeah. I think it's more prominent on the left, because the left is really, really concerned, I think, with implicit messaging, and the right often pretends it doesn't exist at all, like as a concept. So, like take dog whistling, for example. The far right is known for dog whistling, even like jokey shit like the OK sign or milk or whatever. I mean, it has its 5-day heyday on 4chan. Whether people take it seriously is kind of a dice roll,
Right.
The left doesn't have its dog whistles. They have slogans, messaging, icons, whatever. They're usually pretty out and about with it. Not always. I mean,
I'm with her.
Often.
I'm with her.
Yeah, I'm with her. Pussy hats, whatever you want, whatever makes them happy. I think so. A lot of the people on the left are really concerned. I admit I'm really concerned too, because I know a lot of people who went from being edgy boys back in 2014, 15 to being like full-on conservatives, normatively moving a ton of positions over, not because they got on board with the ideas associated with conservatism, but because they feel like it was a necessary end goal of this holistic battle against SJWs or wokeness or whatever.
For sure.
But a lot of them were supporting shit they didn't even know. Like a lot of Trump supporters really didn't care for Trump. They cared for the idea of a kind of maverick shit stirrer who would stick it to the establishment liberal class. And there's some validity to that. But, I think we should be very forthcoming with our political values. We got to know what we're doing, right? I mean, I wouldn't hold any more water for people whose reflexive defense of, China over the United States led to them defending a bunch of the fascistic stuff they do. So I feel like that we all have to be held to that standard.
Word. Where would you draw the line in terms of like what you can and cannot joke about? Because I've seen you talk about you defend it. I think you said you die on the hill. Maybe I could be wrong. Of like, you can joke about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say you kind of have that belief?
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't think you can joke about anything in any way, but I do think you can joke about anything.
What do you mean by that exactly? Oh, so if it's like done in a not necessarily tasteful, but just the correct way.
Yeah. I think you could make jokes about totally innocuous things in ways that are like really politically reprehensible, or make jokes about like really fucky subjects that are politically okay, I guess. It's very context dependent for me.
Like, for example, I guess, immediately jumps into my head is I've laughed at tons of pedophile jokes, but the not Mr. Beast, whatever that guy's name is you talk to. Mr. Man, Mr. Girl.
I hope it's not Mr. Beast. That would be quite the YouTube expose right there. Beast.
Yeah.
But, that'd be something to worry about. Shit.
But like those jokes weren't funny. So to me, it was like it almost didn't even seem like it was a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, well, why do you make the joke, right? Because people lie about why they're joking all the time, like constantly, because jokes get more plausible deniability than almost anything else. Because of course they have, humor is a great defense, but why is a person joking? So one thing, like, for example, okay, jokes about trans people, trans people make jokes about trans people being mentally ill. Some are gender dysphoria is registered as mental illness. And this can be funny stuff. I laugh along with it. You make jokes about, for example, trans degeneracy. Okay, fine. I've made those on stream. Sometimes I get called out for it, sometimes I don't. But why do you do it? Sometimes it's for the humor and it feels like it. Sometimes the humor is just the shell around a legitimate political message. The joke stops being, isn't it funny to talk about transgeneracy as though it's a real concept, as though, this is a real thing worth worrying about. And it starts to become, we're just unironically repeating this talking point. Like, go to racists, right? Like the worst shit Stormfront. They've got lots of jokes about Black people. They're not joking though. They're just saying the things they believe, phrased like a joke. Joke requires subverting expectations. What's less expected than a Stormfront joke ending in Black people being dumb? I mean, that's yeah. So why are we joking? The pedo shit, earlier I made a joke, plausible deniability. I thought that was funny. That's a pedo joke. That guy, the guy I talked to, I don't think he was joking. I just think he got off on the subject. That's my opinion. Of course I can never know, but it's the feeling I got.
Mm-hmm. Is it true? I have a quote here written down. Speaking of this topic, you said something about 27-year-olds. You said they were your favorite.
20.
You said you.
Nah, you're not You're not getting me. Nah, you're not fucking getting me. Yeah, no, fuck.
Damn it, dude. Fuck, dude. I had that one planned since last time. I was like, I'm gonna get him with this.
I do. Listen, because I'm 27, at least for a few months longer. So that's my.
Dude, I was a little surprised because I was like, I thought you were going to be like a year or two older than me. I just turned 28, so I'm technically older than you.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting there myself, Valentine's Day. It's my birthday, actually. So I get to ignore the holiday because the birth date is like higher on the, the hierarchy. So that's phenomenal. I don't have to buy anyone gifts. Amazing.
Dude, that's fucking ill. Do people like cheap shot it and just buy you fucking chocolates and shit?
All I want. I don't give a fuck about anything else.
Dude, I'm a chocolate. Are you a chocolate freak? I'm a chocolate freak.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's disgusting. I'll eat like pounds of it, bro. It's vile.
It's reprehensible.
It's
actually
disgusting.
The best birthday, Valentine's, whatever gift. I had a partner, a while back, and it was a spa visit.
You're one of those guys who says partner.
I mean, I have to, because otherwise I'd have to remember which ones were the boyfriends, girlfriends, envies. I have to.
Forgot. You're the poly guy.
it just simplifies it across the board. Practicality first. I don't have a problem with people saying boyfriend, girlfriend. But it was like a spa visit. There was one of those like outdoor like hot tub spas, like the leaves from the cherry blossoms fall into the water.
Beautiful.
It was really nice. It was really nice. I like that. That was my favorite.
Was there no chocolate?
There was.
I thought there was chocolate involved in this. There was chocolate.
There was chocolate later. There was chocolate before. Chocolate was involved.
Okay.
That was the bit that I remember, though.
Dude, before I get to the most important question or the final,
I take so fucking long to answer everything.
No, you're good. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
What is this? Does this picture make you feel anything?
Be honest. It's not streaming. Is that Peter Griffin? That looks a lot like Peter Griffin.
No, my style just is so shitty.
You drew that? That's good.
I drew that, you fucking baboon. What do you mean that's good?
No, I don't know.
That's like garbage.
No, that's good. Those are clean lines. You're talking yourself down, Mister. No, for real. That's good. You should be proud.
You're fucking crazy, bro.
Especially
since you can draw pretty well.
You drew it with one hand too, given the subject matter.
Bada boom. Yeah, it was.
I love that shit.
That's good.
By the way, the horse jokes, holy fuck! This is my favorite fucking.
Where explain that real quick before I get to this important question. You said you wanted a horse dick, or you said you liked horse dick?
Yeah, well, I guess I mean I guess both. The latter in relation to the former. I'm just a huge size queen.
Is
I just
Vaush
really,
a bottom?
Really like. Oh no! Oh god, no! Never once actually.
Okay.
I'm a huge size queen conceptually for myself, but honestly, if they're bottoming too, I mean, at least it's like a big dick flopping around. I mean, I don't know.
I think that, dude. I agree with you there, brother.
Yeah, it's I don't know, aesthetic or
it's musical in a way. I think we're human.
Yeah.
Rhythm is at the base of everything. It's just hearing that plopping. It's very great.
Percussive instrument.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. Exactly.
Of course, horses are about as stacked as you're going to find on land. I mean, I don't know. At least that's what they're known for. So I rolled with that, right? But it is taken on such a life of its own at this point. It's absolutely spectacular.
I love them, dude. I was even considering as the episode art for this kind of a Brokeback Mountain type thing, but the horse would be looking at you like a little nervously, sweating a little bit.
Yeah, as long as you draw the back.
All right, hey, I'm in.
Yeah,
bro, I got it. I already got part of it done.
Here, wait. I'll send you on Twitter. I don't know if you've ever seen it, like just chanced into the background of one of the videos that you may have seen, but I've got some community member made this. It's my favorite thing in the fucking universe.
Dude, I was shitting myself at that. There was one of you saying there's two genders and cop cars pull up and there's like all this siren music, dude. I was dying, bro.
There you go. I sent it to you. Yeah.
Where'd you send that over?
Oh, on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's off my computer. Yeah, it's
that's great.
It's actually funny because in a way, and I do think that everyone gets out of context to some extent. I think I get it worse than a lot of people, but in a way it's kind of been a blessing now because it's so well known that I get clipped for this, that, or the other, that they can make jokes about it, and they can make jokes about it without me having to worry that them joking about it would then create like another, because my big worry when I initially got, like this was clipped, people think this about me, that about me. My big worry is like, first of all, talking about that publicly is like an optics non-starter. What are you like defending yourself against like the, you have to be like nonchalant about it, but inevitably, there's going to be a difference between the people who like watch all your shit, they're in on all the jokes. They're going to make the worst jokes like, oh haha, Vaush is a pedophile, Vaush does love the fuck horses, Vaush is this, is that. And the people who would look at that and think that it's my community unironically affirming the things they already think about
right
At this point, it's gotten wide scale enough that I feel like the balance has been achieved. You know what I mean? There's a whole subreddit they made about it's my fans. Okay,
it's a horse one. Okay.
It's every fucking joke, every goddamn meme, and there are thousands of upvotes in some of these. I mean, they're very, very committed. It's FBI finally gets Vaush, Epstein's Island, secret streaming location confirmed. Giant underage horse pen raided. Sweaty fat streamer, etc.
That's great, dude.
And it goes off the cliff, right? And that I love. I do think that's
great.
Very funny.
Dude, before I get to the lightning round, I do got to ask, and I wish I'd love to get you two talking one day, but I think he's a little shy. I don't talk to him too much anymore. We got into a bit of an argument, but how do you would you do you think it's fair to call someone like Stone Toss, and you don't even have to use him, you could also use that Sam Hyde guy. Um, do you think it's fair to categorize them as comedians, or would you say they're like, I mean, would you use the term Nazi? I would never really consider them that, but
No, I would
would
at
you
least for
you'd
Stone
feel
Toss.
safe doing that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's essentially said so before in social media. But even if not, the political messaging
Mhm,
in his comics, which aren't terribly subtle, by the way, they're effective, not subtle.
mhm.
The political message essentially is Nazi worldview prescriptions. Jews control the world; they're the elite capitalist class. White people are at risk of being displaced through Jews propagandizing miscegenation and immigration stuff. SJWs are mentally above it, and that sort of stuff. It all ropes in, I think. um Sam Hyde, again, I would need to familiarize myself more with
Right,
some
right.
stuff,
I know
I
you're
guess,
kind of
to
less familiar with his
yeah.
stuff.
As for whether or not they're a comedian, I think, well, at least with Stone Toss, I think propagandist would work first, but I mean that in a neutral sense. I would consider myself one too. The primary intention, I think, is the delivery of political talking points, with comedy being the, like you said, the honey with the medicine, I
Right.
guess. And then there are more pure comedians who might have a political message, but like comedy driven first, right? Like I mean, half of I probably make more jokes than political points in my streams, but the jokes are, I think, at least in terms of intentions, secondary to my goal of, I don't know, making everyone trans or whatever the fuck they
Right.
say.
The tendrils, the leftist tendrils.
Yeah, whatever the fuck.
What
I
would
do.
what would convince you? I don't know how to phrase this really, but could someone make the same jokes as Stone Toss? Let's say you cloned yourself and you know you're not a Nazi because you're in your own head.
Mhm.
Say you cloned yourself and your clone immediately becomes a web cartoonist and very famous, and they almost make identical to Stone Toss comics. Would you then say, would that make you reconsider
No,
how
I'd still
far
have
someone could
to.
go? Okay.
Because it goes beyond even explicit messaging. It's about sort of holistically what program you're suggesting.
Mhm.
The intentions, I think, at least to me, are secondary compared to the outcome, or I guess perceived intention, what everyone else kind of reads into it, which, in which case, at least with Stone Toss community, I don't think are very subtle. I mean, you see a very distinct political affect both in the messaging of the comics, the people who consume it, defend it, that sort of stuff. Now, I don't think there's a limit, because I don't seek to impose a limit on comedy here. I think you can joke about virtually any subject, but historically, it's really difficult through fair argumentation to convince a person to be a Nazi. It's really difficult. Got to say, logic's just not. That's a tough one, uphill battle. And I very rarely see that happen. In all the spaces I've frequented, forums, YouTube videos, debates, this, that, that's very uncommon. Usually what you do is you can do this through comedy or anything else. You highlight a shared enemy. So there's a stereotype of an SJW that I also don't like. I mean, I argue with the left all the time. There are overeager trans activists, for example, who I think will like denounce anyone for even the most banal
Oh
crime
yeah,
against.
yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, I don't think they're like the thrust of the movement. I think they're mostly annoying, but they're an issue. You identify a shared enemy, a shared group, and you denounce them, and then you denounce things in the periphery. So this happened back in Gamergate. A lot of stuff, it starts SJWs, but what are SJWs a part of? Well, they're a type of feminist, right? Usually. So feminists get roped in as well. Black Lives Matter happens, and at first it doesn't get all that much attention, but when things skyrocket a bit, well, that kind of fits into the whole bubble. And now woke is the sort of general term. And the issue is where you fall on that line of Nazi to standard reactionary really depends on just the answers to a couple of key questions.
Mhm.
Do you think that the demographic shifts all over the world happening right now are just a natural product of environmental factors? Or do you think that white people and their civilizational effects are being replaced? Do you think there's a battle against Western civilization? And if so, isn't Western civilization kind of white? Is it a coincidence that there are plenty of left academics, media consults, and what have you, who are Jewish, not to mention people in positions of power and industry, finance, politics, who have ethnic connections, ties to Israel? You can run down a couple of simple questions and almost extract the Nazi worldview with the same set of descriptive information your average reactionary has. And that's why the humor bugs me, because logically, you can pick that apart really well, right? But intuitively, it's lock solid to the right kind of person with the right kind of biases. Intuition can be propelled, maybe is even better propelled by comedy more so than direct argumentation. So I worry about that. And I think that a lot of people, Stone Toss included, are aware of this and they use that to the greatest possible effect.
Mhm.
Sorry, that was wordy, but
No, very succinct.
no, I'm trying not to be, like boring or whatever, but that's the thing that bothers me, a tenth, if that, again, not even really, of political discourse is explicit. Almost all of it is implicit, where people's biases lead them naturally and how to confront those biases directly. I'll just say one more example, right? Trans issues, I'm known as a pro-trans channel. That's great, trans people, cool. A lot of people are anti-trans, that's life. But you argue with them over this, that, and the other. A lot of their arguments are bad. The reason why is because they don't believe their own arguments. The arguments are erected post hoc to justify a feeling, and the feeling is disgust or a sense of unease at what trans people are and represent. It's almost always disgust. It's like at the root of all of it. So you can attack the arguments, but they don't care about the arguments. That's just what they're doing after.
Right.
Yeah, it's a feeling. So you can attack the feeling, but how do you attack a feeling? How do you do that? The best way, you have to be preemptive. Make sure they never get that reflexive feeling that trans people are gross. Not even about propagandizing to them, just it's always that. And that starts with edgy webcomics about, genital mutilation, or about, this, or, people with pink wigs and stubble. And there's nothing wrong with drawing a person in a pink wig with stubble, not intrinsically, but it can go so many places,
I always have a hard time. I will say, I think you have like 3 minutes left. So if you need to set
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, no,
you're good, bro.
Yeah.
It's just lovely talking to you. But no, I don't know. I just have a struggle with, just because as someone who enjoys that type of humor. But I mean, I agree though. There's sometimes I see stuff that's just not funny, or it's like, this sucks. But as someone who generally enjoys that type of humor and who likes making it in a way, I have a hard time deciding whether I can even say anything or whether my opinion matters, just because I feel like I'm in that same group in a way. I don't know if that makes sense, but
do you think that's a self-preservation thing, to an extent, that you feel your hands dipped in the same Kool-Aid? So if you denounce them, you're sort of,
in a way, maybe, but too. My thought has always been like, anything I make, I'll stand behind. And that's kind of always my goal of like, so even if I feel like I did denounce someone, I would still say, anything I've made, I stand behind. And I think I think my actions have spoke loud enough that I'm not a bad guy. Maybe, I don't know, who knows. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is a bit of a self-preservation tactic.
I think that I don't think, oh, cat.
Mrs.
I don't think that there's a I don't think oh, sorry, it's just fucking around. I don't think there's a clear line. I don't know if there's a way to know a clear line. I don't know the clear line, because there are people who I trust, people whose input I value, who have judged some things past the line when I haven't, and vice versa. I don't know if there's an objective stance there, but I think the process of trying to find the line or distinguish it, or try to, at the very least, fairly interpret the effect people's positions relative to that imaginary line have on their audiences, I think it's a really valuable thing to do. In a way, I feel like what I do, and what a lot of other people like me do, it's almost a disservice, because by talking about explicit political messaging, it almost distinguishes political engagement as a whole from the implicit, as though being political is something that you do by going online and talking about trans people or the news. But in reality, we're all doing it all the time in our own ways, maybe. And I don't know how you could ever really draw like a clear distinction, but I think an effort always has to be made, because otherwise you don't just have bad politics, right? You have bad comedy. You have people who will make jokes about underage girls' panties and like laugh as I hit the end call button. You'll have racists, like with their 8,000th joke about black people. And you'll have people with the same like 5 jokes about trans people, which, like the attack helicopter thing, I laughed when I first heard it. Okay, is anyone saying the attack helicopter thing today out of humor, or is it just a shorthand for the political position they have?
The dog whistle. Yeah,
right. It's just dressed up as a joke. I'm sorry. I'm for being so long-winded. I really do appreciate you taking the time.
You're good, bro. Dude, thank you for chatting again. I'm very grateful. To leave, I guess my last question would be, can you just confirm or deny that Shoe on Head's coochie smells like a rabbit cage?
I'll let you know when I find out. I'm sure.
Oh, bro, you still haven't
I know, right? It's, you think I know, tremendously disappointing.
Bro.
Honest to God, to be perfectly forthcoming. Okay, she's too trad for me. I swear to God. Okay,
really?
Every time I see, I know, it's the degeneracy. Every time I see one of those Twitter posts by, oh, my husband, I'm gonna cook them meals. Ugh. It's
to me, it's not the trad thing. It's that she had that dude not walk around, but sit in a slave collar or like a dog collar.
I think that was before I was doing this whole thing. I think right. So I don't. That would.
You're saying you wouldn't have allowed that. The previous owner.
No, I just the Dom sub stuff isn't for me either. But she is a lovely friend. I'm sure. Listen. May we treasure the days her coochie may or may not smell like a rabbit pen anyway, because her rabbit's quite old. And I hope, it's lived a long life. So probably going to pass soon, I hear.
Yeah, bro, that's not good. Schrodinger's coochie. Anyway, I'll let you get to your stream, bro. Thank you again. Godspeed. God bless.
Oh, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. How dare you, Vaush?
Happy holidays. Happy holidays. No, I meant, in God, I don't give a fuck about the happy holidays, Warren Christmas bullshit. However, sometimes, it really does feel like 1984 thought crime shit. You say, Merry Christmas out in public, like at your local Walmart or whatever. And, people are.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, how dare he?
Yeah. While I'm carrying like the red and green, like, bells for the tree and the Santa hat.
It's a holiday tree. Okay. And that's a holiday hat. Okay.
Holiday Santa, holiday reindeer. You have a wonderful day. Okay.
You too, brother. Godspeed.